Welcome to my first YouTube travel channel interview with George Oleniuc. He's traveling around the world for a year. We met in a little island in Fiji. His travels inspired me to travel, and that's what this channel is about. So, welcome, George.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, everyone. So I'm originally from Romania. I've been living in in London for the past 10 years. Moved there to finish my studies and work. It's taken a lot of planning, I would say. It's something that I've always wanted to do, but never had the chance because life gets in the way, and you have to focus on work, you have to focus on family, you have to focus on so many things, and some people say it's a selfish decision, but it's not really. I mean, yeah. So I started this trip on. I left London on the 2nd of January of this year, and I'm planning to go back to London around Christmas. Today is the 28th of March, so I'm just 3 months in,
A
and
long way to go.
9 months. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like way more than 3 months passed because, well, if you're always traveling and seeing a lot of new places, you just gather so many memories, and everything piles up, and you just feel like you've been in one place for like a month, but you've only been there for a week.
Are
I
you
think it's been.
documenting it other than like just taking photos? Are you doing some other kind of journaling or anything?
Yes, and so actually I have a journal thing that a friend of mine gifted before I left. It's just like a personal journal, so I just write some things. There are some memos from almost each day. Yeah, and the rest is just photos and some videos. I'm trying not to have a balance between enjoying the moment, recording, and also work. Trying to combine work and travel and sleep and everything. So it's hard, but it's very rewarding.
So maybe talk a little bit about how you're on a sabbatical from your job, correct? But you're
Yeah,
still working.
yeah. So I'm very lucky that my work allowed me to go away this year and only keep part of my duties. So I was allowed to work part time with them. We have a schedule of tasks that I have to complete, but at the same time, I'm given flexibility because I can, as long as I get everything done, it doesn't matter if don't work one day because I can catch up later in the week. So yeah, I'm lucky that I was allowed to take the sabbatical.
So do you get
And
any pay during this year for working a little
yeah,
bit? Yeah, you do.
yeah. So we have it's a very good revenue stream.
Good.
It's very good income, especially for Asia, because
Yes.
I'm learning like a small like on a salary, but I'm not working full time, so I'm able to keep things balanced
Yeah.
and fund my trip pretty much. I didn't have to go into my savings yet, and I think I'll be able to just leave off. Um,
That's
the
amazing. Okay, real quick, let's see. Let's go through from where you started, where you went, where you are now, where you're going.
Sure. So I left London on the 2nd of January. I went for a quick trip to Turkey, and also I flew with Turkish Airlines, and because I found a good deal to to Asia, because my initial plan was to go directly into Malaysia, and so I decided to go Turkey for a couple of days, and also to get accustomed with the time zones, because I didn't want to get too jet lagged. I changed from London to Turkey. I think it was maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then I gradually changed my time zones. And for example, New Zealand has 13 hours ahead of London. So I am lucky that I managed to do it gradually, avoided a big jet lag,
Hmm.
and yeah, you get used to it. But yeah, going back to the countries, I was in Turkey for a couple of days, and then I flew to Malaysia for just over a week. Then I flew to Fiji where we met, and yeah, that was like pretty much very early on in my on my trip. That was Fiji, and that was still in January, and shortly. I think I spent like over a week, but under 2 weeks in Fiji,
Hmm.
and then went to New Zealand for 2 weeks, followed by Australia for a month, then a quick trip to Timor Leste, which is in between I know it's a country that most people might have not heard of. It's not very out there. It's a new country. They only get independency 21 years ago. Oh, so I spent like maybe like 6 days there, and because I was also visiting a friend, and flew into Indonesia, where I currently am for. Well, I've been here for 2 weeks, more or less, and I'm planning to be here for another 1 week and a bit.
Where are you
Um,
staying in Bali?
I've been staying in a mix of guest houses and just hotels, but most of them are. Most of the times I've been staying in guest houses. So there are a lot of family businesses because the people here live. I mean, for most people, the main source of income is tourism.
Hmm.
So you have a lot of people that converted their houses into guest houses, or they just build up um, small boutique hotels.
Hmm.
And I prefer to stay in these places rather than big chain hotels.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because basically the owner is also the receptionist and they're so nice. Basically, we provide the this is the income, so they make a living out of this,
Hmm.
and they put much more heart into
Do you
it.
mind me asking how much per night you're paying typically in Bali?
It's £14, which I think translates it into around 17, 18 US dollars.
Hmm. Yeah. Wow.
But normally I would pay around £10 or less,
Gosh, that's
depending on the
incredible.
location.
Yeah, it's
It's
kind of similar to Thailand, but I think it actually might be cheaper than Thailand. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just feels like so. I think Thailand might be even cheaper. So actually, because I booked a room for I'm going there
Mhm.
in about 2 weeks. So I already booked my accommodation for 3 4 days, and it was actually cheaper than here. So I'm like,
Was
oh,
it?
this is a dream. Yeah, it feels like I think a lot of the prices I think have hiked up here. Um, because it's increased tourism, but still, like it's
$17 is hiked up.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how what they were before, but it's still
Wow,
very cheap. And of course,
that's
you have to be
incredible.
careful as well. You have to be careful, yeah, with like because there are a lot of because people must make most of their money out of tourism or off of tourists. They will try to not scam you, but like they will try to overcharge you in many things. And it's because it's a cheap place. You think, oh, you would maybe make a like, oh, this is how much I will pay back home, so it's not a lot. But yeah, for the local prices, it's still like you might still end up paying a lot.
Okay, so Bali, you're going from Bali, you are going to Thailand?
So now yeah, I'm in Bali, but I also went to other parts of Indonesia,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
and tomorrow I'm leaving Bali and I'm going to Java, which I think is the island is bigger than Bali, and but not as explored. I'd say 'cause most of the people come to Bali.
It's pretty close, right, to Bali?
Yeah, so basically it's just a ferry. So I'm taking 6 hour bus to Java. So I have to go from South Bali until to like northwest Bali, where there's a ferry crossing to Java,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
it's only like 30 minutes ferry crossing, so it's
Oh, wow.
quite well connected.
So you're going Java to, are you flying from Java to
Days
Thailand?
there from Java. I'll be flying into Borneo. Borneo is an island that's owned by 3 countries, depending on the regions. Like most of it is Indonesia, like in the let's say up to here to the neck, and then you have Malaysia up to here, and then just the rest is Brunei, a very small country, but apparently is the richest country in the world, the wealthiest
Really?
country in the world. Yeah, Borneo is the whole island,
Uh-huh.
and Brunei is the country. I think they have the highest income per capita, or
Write it
it's
down.
worth looking into. So I'm curious to get there, and so I'll also learn more about what's happening there. Then yeah, so from there I'm spending like 6 7 days there. I'm looking forward to I'm hoping to have some encounters with some orangutans, especially now they become so rare especially as all the forests are being destroyed and they're being forced to move out of their own habitats. These are so Borneo and Sumatra, which is another island of Indonesia, are the only places where you can actually see orangutans where they actually live. Hopefully, they will made extinct with the way deforestation is going, and
Yeah. Yeah.
people are destroying their habitats. Yeah, from there I'm flying to Bangkok just one day before a big local event, and also I'm flying on the 12th, and on the 13th they start the celebration of Songkran, which is the Thai New Year, and they have a water festival and a huge crowd of people on the street celebrating and having a good time. I think it lasts for like 3 to 4 days. I'm actually staying in Bangkok just for that amount of time. So I've been there before, and it would have been a pity not to go and experience this again. Especially because I was going to be in Thailand next month anyway. Um, so luckily I can be there for this, and then also just to explore again, see some see. I mean, it's nice to go to places that you've been to before and see how they've changed, perhaps, because
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
things don't stay the same.
Yeah.
Places change, people change,
Yeah.
and customs remain normally, traditions remain the same. But I mean, I've personally, like, whenever I went back to a place, I've always had a different experience, because it's not just the actual place; it's the people that you meet, it's the weather,
Yeah.
it's how you feel, how you woke up, if you slept well. So
Yeah.
it's a big mix of things. Yeah, so I'll spend just a couple of days in Bangkok, and then I'm traveling to Chiang Mai, which is an area in the northern Thailand,
Mhm.
and then crossing the border to Laos. I think it's gonna be. I think I haven't booked anything yet, but I think I'll do it via river. That's like a 1 day boat trip.
Oh, that'd be
uh,
cool.
it's gonna be a nice experience. Um, and I'm traveling to be as to I'm trying to be as much as I can a green traveler, but sometimes it's just impossible
Yeah.
to get from, especially because it's a lot of islands, so it's impossible you, to go via ferries, because you take days or something. They just don't exist. They only have ferries for commercial purposes.
Hmm.
Um, and then I'm heading towards Nepal in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and with the final aim of climbing Everest. And it's
Amazing.
been another dream of mine at some point, but I like to climb most of the peaks, the highest mountains in the world. At the moment, I'm only planning to climb the base camp,
Hmm.
because so yeah, I'm planning to climb just to climb the base camp. It's going to be a huge challenge, and I haven't done this before. Who knows what's next? Maybe at some point in my life I will be able to climb it the whole way. But I know it's a very risky, it's a very hard journey, and at the moment I'm trying to not just stay safe. I mean, I'm putting myself in a lot of, let's say, maybe risky situations, because it's just life.
You just
But
learned how to dive, right? You just got your diving certificate?
yes, yes. I had it. Actually, I got an email, because nowadays they don't give you a card anymore. They just give you an e-card, which is better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Better.
Do you wish that you had done that earlier, like before Fiji?
Yes, I wish I had it earlier, because I feel like I missed out on a lot of diving opportunities in even Fiji and in countries such as New Zealand, especially Australia. I still enjoyed a lot of snorkeling, but I feel like I still missed out on things just by not being able to dive. Even though some of them, they were still, you can still do like diving with an instructor, even if you don't have a certification. But this course really helped me to gain confidence and to know how to act in the water. Whereas if you just go diving with an instructor, or someone's basically someone's holding your hand all the time, and you don't know how to behave. You don't know how to keep your buoyancy, or there's so many things involved.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish I'd done it earlier,
Yeah.
but I'm happy.
What's been your favorite place so far?
Very hard to tell
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, there's so many beautiful places everywhere, but I don't know. I think the first country that came to my mind, it was New Zealand. Out of all that I've seen so far. But maybe it's unfair to be honest, because I had such a great time and seen so many beautiful places. But maybe because I prefer more like the mountains and forests. and New Zealand has very has a lot of hiking opportunities and
Yeah. Lots.
maybe like just fabulous opportunities for nature and wildlife.
Yeah, it's really a special place. It really is. I was amazed. I was told that the west coast of New Zealand didn't have a lot of nice beaches, but there are really nice beaches on the west coast of the
Yeah,
South Island. I'm sorry, I should specify the South Island. I know you probably, well, I'm sure you saw some of them, but I wanted to stay longer in some of those places because I do like beaches a lot. I like mountains too, but I prefer beaches. I'm a beach gal. And I just wanted to stay on the beach on the South Island. We just didn't have time when we
yeah.
were driving. Yeah, but also enjoyed the glacier and hiking the glacier too. I know you hiked the glacier too, didn't you, in New Zealand?
So I didn't do the actual I didn't do the heli ride.
Yeah,
I did the hike through the mountains. Because for me it was a bit out like it was out of my budget.
yeah, it's
It
pretty.
was quite so I guess for travelers, for people who are going like on a short trip,
Yeah,
and yeah, it would be nice. It's definitely a nice thing to do.
yeah,
But I just did a self instructed
yeah. Guide or,
ride.
or
So,
hike. How have you been doing with your budget? I know you're working, so you're getting some income from your job, especially in Bali where it's less expensive. But I mean, have you been staying on budget?
yes, pretty much. So more or less, I have a reduced income from my job. So I'm on a sabbatical now for a year. I am getting paid that specific percentage from my own
Mhm,
salary.
mhm.
So it's not a big amount, but it's enough to keep me afloat. Um, and so far, especially in Asia, it's enough to cover all of my expenses and without having to go into my savings.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, did you expect that when you budgeted that you would be
yeah,
able to have enough?
sorry, no. So to be honest, like yeah, so I made like a budget for like how much I would spend per day on like on accommodation and how much I would spend for food. And to be honest, my budget was to spend like a max of £20 slash 25 US dollars per day for accommodation. And for a lot of times I was under budget, like this is under budget, and I still have to like do like an analysis of my expenses so far, but I know I'm in budget because I still like I didn't go red. And it's hard because some things you cannot really prepare yourself for. You just you have local taxes. You just you have this opportunity to say to go on an amazing trip that you wouldn't have probably budgeted for, but it's okay to be flexible as long as it's comfortable for your budget and if you know that you're still be able to go ahead and enjoy enjoy a trip.
The people that you're meeting on the trip, are they also similar to you, where they're traveling for longer periods of time?
So I met a lot of people, even like people that I met in Australia, um, and I've traveled with them from the north of the east coast all the way down, and a lot of them are also like on the long are either like on a long um, break from work, maybe let's say like on a 3 month sabbatical or a bit more, or people that took a career break, so they just want to they don't know what they're doing next. They're using this opportunity to make up their mind, just to see exactly to
Mhm.
go away from day-to-day life and just to
High school or
no, so I mean people that are on a career break.
a career break? Yeah.
They want to they want to see what they want to do next in life. So this is also like a spiritual journey because you go away and just you can be with your thoughts away from all the pressure from home, maybe from family or from other things who are just
Yeah.
trying to guide you. So you just find your own direction.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, people from people that are on a gap year and or just people who come like I spent a lot of like almost 2 weeks now with um, two French girls and a French guy who just came here to work and they don't necessarily have a plan to go back. Um,
They're
in
working in
so no,
Bali.
so they don't work here. So I met them in Australia, and then they came here on holiday. So they are working in Australia, and they just came here for a short holiday. So they are like they don't. I mean, most of the people that I met, they don't have, they weren't as lucky perhaps, or they didn't have a job that would afford them to work and travel.
Hmm.
They no they work in hospitality or in farms in Australia because they have probably have reduced you have a reduced amount of tasks that you can do, or they would only offer certain jobs to foreigners. So they would work there, gain like save up, and then go travel for a month, and then go back. So they would do that perhaps over a year,
Hmm.
which is another good way. But I prefer the way that I'm doing now, just to be able to travel every day and then just work in the evening or in the weekend, and don't have a and just be always on the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also more tiring because as I was mentioned earlier, you have pretty much have to plan your day ahead. Like like I'm going to do this until like 3 4, and then I'm going to work for 2 hours. But then if something goes wrong, if you go on a trip and you come back much later than planned, or if there's no internet or something and things don't go your way, your day might end up being way longer than you thought, and then
Yeah.
you sleep less and you just feel more stressed. But overall, yeah, it's very rewarding, and I think I had like maybe only 1 or 2 days when I said, okay, I'm not going to do anything today. I'm just going to do one thing, and then I'm going to have some downtime because I need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any advice for someone that's like might be trying to plan this kind of journey? Like, what would you recommend to them?
um, I'll recommend them to try it may sound weird, but like to sort out their life, to um, to I don't know. I'm quite risk averse, so I wouldn't just I wouldn't just pack a bag and just go without having a plan in place. So I think planning is quite important, and 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 do a lot of research on certain aspects, right? So just even with clothing, like what to take with you, um, and just safety wise, um, plan plan the trip also around if you want to go to a country, you could plan your trip around events that are happening there as well. I was mentioning earlier, I'm going to Thailand now for the Songkran. I was here last week for Nyepi, which is the Balinese New Year.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm it's so much more rewarding to experience this, like just yearly event, um, and it doesn't take that much.
Yeah, to plan. Oh, you froze.
You can just like search like what's the best time to go to the place you want to go to, and then how you can connect that with your plans for the previous country or for the next country.
Is there any place that you've been that you wouldn't recommend going?
Um, I, I wouldn't. I can't really think of any.
No.
Um, I Yeah, I can't really think of that. That's the thing. Maybe because I've done my research before, so
Yeah.
there were places that I was meaning to go to, but then I looked more into them, and probably maybe they were like not my cup of tea. I
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't go there because not really my interest. Um, but yeah, I guess planning helped me to be more efficient, um, in spending my time, uh, having good experiences.
What's been the most surprisingly fun thing that you've done on the trip so far?
Fun. I'll say so. Just getting my doing my PADI course was really exciting and fun at the same time. As I feel like my heart was, um, yeah, my heart was beating quite fast at some point, and um, it's just it was so mesmerizing just being down there and just there were so many turtles like deep down and so many like plenty of fish, and I was so happy that I learned how to actually dive and to hold my like to breathe normally and
Hmm.
be confident in myself there.
Were
And
you nervous when you first started?
yes, I was nervous because I like okay, what if first time because we did 4 dives. The first dive I was just I was breathing so fast that I was the first one to like I had the lowest percentage
Oxygen.
of yeah, oxygen at the end, and
Yeah.
then by the day four I was like normal. So it's yeah, the underworld was the underwater world is like it's just it's
Yeah.
amazing and it's so much to um so like so undiscovered. There's so much to discover out there
Yeah. Yeah.
and to understand.
What's been your favorite place to either snorkel or dive so far? The most beautiful.
um I think I would give the crown to the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
It's been really amazing and I wish I dived there as well, but I really need to go back at some point and
Yeah.
to do it.
That's the next trip.
Okay. Yeah. Next time, I definitely feel like I need to go back to Australia at some point to see the West Coast as well.
Yeah. What was your favorite city in Australia?
Um, I think I had the best time in. Um, I think the first time thing that comes to mind is Nusa, but I
Where?
really Nusa.
Noosa? How do you spell
Yeah,
that?
it's Noosa.
Noosa.
Yeah,
Okay. Australia.
yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's a
Okay.
small like as I made my way down from the on the east coast. It's a small it's quite small place, but I really enjoy the vibe. It's a small town, it's a small city, but I don't know. I just somehow I vibed with it. So
Yeah.
um,
There are definitely
yeah,
places that you get to and you're like, I just love the vibe here.
yeah. I just feel
Yeah.
like, um, and then I really enjoy Sydney as well. But I don't know. For some reason, Nusa was the first that came to my head. So there must be a reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think and you don't necessarily understand why or how to explain the vibe, but I've had that experience in several places in the world. Naxos, Greece was one for me, which is a little island in Greece. And then I had that same kind of experience that I really felt at home. Going blank, going blank on where that was. There's another place that I felt that just sort of chill. Oh, Phi Phi Island in
Okay.
Thailand. I loved it. Loved it. Some people, I know it's a party island, and I'm not a big partier, but for whatever reason, I liked the vibe there.
Yeah, you don't
There's
have to be. I
a lot
mean,
going on, just at night, everywhere.
yeah. No, no. That's one thing that I learned. You don't have to be. No, you can go to party places. You don't have to be a party person because
Yeah,
in the end you just do your own thing. You don't have to follow whatever everyone's doing. No, it's
yeah, yeah. I don't even think I drank there, and it's like
yeah,
I just loved the vibe of the island, and I don't know. We stayed there 5 nights because we had booked 3 and decided to stay 2 more because we liked it so much.
yeah.
And there's no cars, and you walk everywhere. That was nice too.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so
Yeah,
it's like it's I don't know. It's so important to be able to connect more with nature rather than just be.
mm,
Usually I try to walk pretty much everywhere where possible, and there are some places that are just overcrowded with
tours.
cars and with traffic. So it's just really kind of ruins your experience.
New Zealand was the hiking there. We were talking about the hiking in New Zealand. One of the things that I loved about that was almost felt like I was walking through a calm map.
Hmm.
The sounds, in nature, and then the smell was glorious.
Yeah, and so clean everywhere, because
Yeah,
they really take care of their country. They really keep
they
it clean,
do.
and they
Yeah.
preserve very well.
One of the first hikes I did was to Angel. I think it was Angel Fall. No, Kite Falls or Kite in Maori. That's the pronunciation. I got corrected. Um, and did you ever see the stations where you had to scrub your feet before you went in on the trail?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much like everywhere.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing.
yeah,
I
and
was
then scrub
impressed.
your feet, and then also just spray just to
Yep.
kill the. Yeah, and it didn't happen at the airport, but a lot of people do. Even at the airport, if you had like hiking boots and stuff,
Yeah.
you just need to make sure because, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these things are coming from past experiences when no, they were, you should not, if it happens once, you don't want to repeat it. So um, that's the same with traveling, right? So the more you travel, the more you learn how to behave and what to do and what not to do, more especially.
Yeah. Have there
So,
been any kind of customs that you didn't know about that you had to learn that maybe you did something that was against like the local customs?
so I think like pretty much everywhere is you go, you have to. Um, yeah, I always do some research. I always like to learn how to say thank you in the in the local language. Um, and yeah, I do some research like of what not to do, more especially, or how to thank people because no, if you go to Thailand, people just bow more like what do or Japan. Um, whereas here, like no, well, one of the customs here, you should never take anything with your left hand. You should always, if someone offers something, don't use your left hand. Always use your right hand. And um, yeah, I don't, I hope I haven't done anything to offend anyone around. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it goes back to planning to do some a bit of research because I feel like we have so much information nowadays. Sometimes too much information
Yeah.
because you can just draw into like too much information and too many opinions. But I think it's important to do a bit of research just to make sure that because in the end, if you know how to behave, if you know what to expect, it's gonna make your experience smoother,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's only a plus.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you one last question, then I'm gonna ask you something just before we wrap up. After you complete this trip, what are your goals? I mean, I guess are you going to? Because I think you told me that you were kind of exploring like kind of what you wanted to do, going forward in your life. Um, have you come to any of those conclusions or?
No, because I've been too busy traveling. Sorry. And no, so I'm still working on that. That's the thing. I'm not rushing it. I feel like I'm vibing with the moment. I'm
Yeah.
just enjoying the present, and then um, I'm sure like things will come my way, and um, I will slowly learn more of because I mean I'm still learning more about myself, and this is a
Mhm.
great um, advantage of solo traveling. You just get to spend more time with yourself.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when you are no, it's surrounded by too many people, you don't. Your focus is always on others, but not on yourself. And then you just sometimes you just connect with yourself. You don't you don't have no. There's not enough self care. Um, you just have to care for the others, and you just don't attend to your needs. And I feel now this trip so far has been nurturing. It's been healing, also healing because I
Mhm.
can, I spend more time with myself, and I can from here I can go further and and think. But I'm taking it very slowly. I'm not myself. I want to maybe. And I'm actually whatever the path that I was before is the right one. Maybe I just had other things that I thought were not. Maybe I thought that I was not heading the right direction, but I actually was. Um, so yeah, I still I haven't actually thought about it that much, but I feel like I am in on the right path. So probably when I go back, I will just keep doing what I'm doing.
Oh, that's cool. So the last thing I wanted to ask you is, how would you feel? I think this would be really interesting to do this interview at the end of your trip.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we can do like even like like let's say this is quarter 1. We can do it in back in June, quarter 2, and then September, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
December.
yeah, yeah. I
Because
mean, I know I enjoy, and I'm trying to live vicariously through you, but that's the whole point of my channel is to inspire people to travel, and then also take people along with me on the journey that can't go, because there's so many people that aren't able to travel for various reasons, for financial
yeah,
reasons, for physical reasons. And I think, well, I do a lot of my research for traveling on YouTube. And I just go look for YouTube videos on whatever country I'm going to. And I learn so much from people that
yeah.
are traveling, in those countries. And so I thought, well, maybe I can create a channel to inspire people to travel and then also take people along with me. And had I known that, when we met or whatever, I probably would have gone about the trip in a different way. I would have, yeah, it would have been different. But going forward, that's my plan. And I do like these interviews. So if you meet anyone interesting along the way that you think would make an interesting interview, because
Yeah.
part of the joy of traveling is meeting people like you who are doing these kinds of things, and just hearing about their journey to me is it's joyful just to listen to people, living life to the fullest. It's inspiring to me. Um, and actually you being in Bali has inspired me to, because it was it was number 1 on my list, and just seeing you there. And yeah, I'm thinking, August this year. So I'm starting to
Oh,
do my,
that's amazing.
yeah,
Oh, you're gonna love it here.
yeah, I think I would. I mean, I love Thailand and I would love to go back to Thailand, but Bali I've never been to. And it's like I said, it's number 1 on my list. Australia's there as well. And yeah, some of the areas also. Oh, you froze. Are you there?
Can I? Oh, yeah, loading now.
Okay. I can hear
Okay.
you.
Oh,
There you are.
I see a recording error message.
Oh, do you?
Now, just if I look down and you're in the show, and then
Oh, it might have been that your video froze,
okay,
because it is still
okay,
recording. I can see the time. Can you see the
yeah,
time in the top left?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and now it's back to uploading recording, so it's okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, well, I'm going to edit this and could just condense it probably. And one of my biggest challenges, I'm going to end recording now. So we're going to sign off.
Yeah, so you can upload as well to make sure because it takes some time.
Okay.